Hello, welcome back to another episode of
I was not ready.
Wait, why are you not
I
ready?
was not ready because you just went for it. There
Then
was no
where-
pause. We were like in the middle of a conversation. Hello, welcome back.
You're so loud.
Wait.
Again.
Sorry.
Hello. Should we start over again?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
With another episode with Sundays with Sun and Day, and this is Sun, and my last name is Wen.
I'm not gonna talk until he says his full name. And I'm Allison Day.
Because Allison requires that I have to say my last name, but
Because it's weird if you're like I'm Sun and then I'm like I'm Allison Day.
yeah,
Because
because
I gotta say my last name
I
because I'm
know.
the Day.
well,
Otherwise it doesn't work. And then it's just awkward. And it's like, okay, Sun and Allison. Why are you Sundays? We're
Day.
Sun and Day.
I mean, maybe they think that I'm Sunday too. You know, that I think, and then it's confusing, and then nobody knows who I am, which is
One
good.
of these days.
One of these
We will-
days.
I will convince you.
Who's which one?
This one.
Oh, one of
convince
those.
you.
One of the days.
To change your last name so you can be Sunday.
No, change it to like DAE or something.
That's
then I can
fine.
retain. It's like
The
Korean.
Asianness.
Yeah, the Asianness, but it's like Korean. So
I mean, people already kind of think you're Korean because your
Yeah.
name is Sun.
Sunday. Yeah, that's true. I guess so.
I mean,
I
you
guess
do get
that's
that,
right.
don't you? People
Yeah.
thinking that you're Korean because
Yeah.
of your first name.
Yeah. People think of everything. But you know what? It's my name is just like simple as Sun, but then every time I'm on a call with somebody, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to try to maybe people just consider it." And they always ask. It's like, "Oh, what's how, before I butcher your name."
I
How
mean,
do
if
you
they're
say
just
that?
asking, I think that's considerate. If
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just going for it and being like, Son.
Oh, well, yeah, no, but I mean, they could have just say Sun, just ing. Yeah, I know. I guess
But then they
especially
assume that
people
they're
in-
anglicizing it too much.
Yeah, but in this case, you need to because it's literally just that. But then I guess no. I mean,
Technically,
technically it's not.
it's
and then,
not.
And
But
then,
then
but then like it's so confusing.
it's like if you wrote your name with the proper Vietnamese accent.
I guess now I
It's
understand.
not.
I understand why you were telling me that you had a teacher in high school. Last name is same as mine, and he's like it wasn't that you said he just said
Mr. Nguyen.
Nguyen or something.
Nguyen.
He
That's
just
how
kind of he give up, and that's what
He's
I
just
did.
like, you know what? This is the easier way.
That's what I did. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I give up.
Well, okay, you say Sun Nguyen.
Yeah.
How would you say your full name if it were proper Vietnamese? Because I don't think either
I
of
know,
those are technically
it's
correct,
almost the
right?
same. It's Sun Win.
Is that
Yeah, it's probably the same. It's
'Cause-
like maybe a little bit of a accent different, but maybe it's so slight that it doesn't matter.
okay? So it's close.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't give up that much, but your teacher gave up. It should be
mean-
Win, like just. I
Okay,
didn't want
but
people
it's
to know
still
my last name.
closer.
Now we just keep talking.
It's still closer than like Nguyen or something.
Nguyen. Yeah, yeah, I know. That's why I said.
Nguyen is still
I-
fairly close.
Yeah,
It's
but
not too bad.
yeah, I guess so. I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
that's how he would tell us to pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it's just, but that is so much more difficult than just saying like when. Like if I were to, if I were your teacher and I give up in that sense, I don't know if he did or not. Maybe he didn't. But if I kind of like, okay, whatever, whatever, whitenize us, I don't care, anglicize it, whatever, then I would just say just say it when, like WIN, right? That would be much easier for American people or white people to just be like win,
I
right?
think Nguyen is easier.
Nguyen, is
Nguyen.
he Nguyen? No.
Ngu-
How did he say it?
Nguyen. Nguyen.
Nguyen. I
Mr.
guess
Nguyen.
so. I guess
I think
so.
that's easier because Nguyen
Yeah, I guess so.
is like you don't in English you don't really get like N and W next to each other.
N and W.
Nguyen.
Yeah, I guess so. No,
So
no. Just
having
say,
that,
but
like,
just say like win, like
Mr. Win.
yeah, like WIN.
But then
right?
that's
Win.
like obviously wrong.
Yeah, I know.
And it's even more confusing
Yeah.
because it's like, well, what happened to the N? And like, there's
Don't worry about it. Or just like the people who are probably what Singaporean or Malaysian or something with the NG.
uh-huh.
I don't know. I actually don't know
believe
how
you
to
pronounce that ing.
ing. Okay, that is.
And I only know that again. I don't know that from the source, but I have someone who that a friend who that's her married name,
Yeah, I remember.
and that's how she tells people to pronounce it.
I think you're right because I remember.
Because I had no idea.
I remember people have told me that. I mean, I remember people saying it, and I was like, oh, it's just as simple as that, and I'm like, but then now if you just, I forget about, because I don't run into people with that last name a lot, and then if you were to ask me like do a pop quiz, I'd probably just like.
And like I said, I don't know if that's like technically fully correct, but she always said ing.
Yeah, I think that sounds right to me. They could have made it. I mean, I don't know what happened there. Maybe we should look it up on like, Google or something. I don't know why it's like that, or maybe when the conversion came over and then it got stuck that way. But they could have just put like an I in front of it or something, right? Wait, what did you say again? I forgot. Ing?
Mm-hmm.
Ing. Yeah, they could have put like an I, and maybe it'll be
No
like
idea.
easier to be like ing. Yeah, I don't know. But just ng is so difficult because there's like no vowel. There's no vowel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And ng.
Like if you just pronounce it ing, it's very close to ing.
I guess so. Yeah.
And the
It's probably
true way of saying it could be
it's probably
closer
more
to that.
It's probably more ng than just
Yeah.
like if to put an I and like ing, right? It would just be that would be butchering it. Anyways, wow, that got the purpose was that to not make it obvious to people that what my last name is, so I'm not doxed.
And then we end up talking
too
about
late.
it for 10 minutes.
Maybe now, the last thing that people listening to this podcast would be like, oh, his name is Sun Ing. And then they just get really confused. And maybe that is my last name. Maybe I'm Singaporean or something.
Sunday.
Who knows? Sunday or Korean, whatever.
It's full Korean.
Yes.
It's the sun and the day.
Sun and day. Or you switch it around, day sun. And that's probably a Korean name too.
Probably.
But yeah. That's it for this week's podcast.
Just ranting about Sun's last name.
Yeah, and then we're done because we got
That's
nothing. We came in not knowing what to talk about, and we don't know what to even talk about now. What we're going to talk about this week?
Well, what have we done this week? A lot of baby stuff.
Not meditating.
There's only a few Sundays left before baby is due. So Sunday might be on a temporary
I don't even want to think about that right now.
hiatus.
Sunday. I'm still here.
You're going to be on a temporary hiatus. It's called paternity leave.
Yeah,
Because
I
we're
don't
gonna
want to
have
think about that.
Tiny little newborn to take care of.
Yeah,
We got her crib put together.
She can join the podcast.
We got her crib put together this week. We're slowly but surely getting through all of the prep for baby stuff.
Yeah. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be, the crib.
He keeps doing that, assuming that things are going to be really, really challenging.
That's what I do with my entire life.
I know you do.
That's why I'm thinking about taking care of baby and going through everything. I'm hoping that it would be, a pattern that's.
You think it's going to be way harder than it is, and then it ends up being super easy?
That's what I'm hoping. But
yeah, we'll just go with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least.
It's going to be super, super simple.
Yeah, it's going to be like, oh, wow, it's,
For sure.
I could take care of 10 of them at the same time. That's how easy this is. It's like writing code. You just write one, run forever. Run many times. I hope that's the case.
I don't think babies are scalable like that. It's quite the same.
Yeah, probably not.
But yeah, so it's been a lot of prep for baby, a lot of not meditating.
No.
A lot of not doing the grounding that we were talking up so much last week.
We should be maybe we should do the grounding and the podcast at the same time and
You
get
said
killed.
that last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe we should actually do it because I think it'll be a good.
That's a
sort
lot
of,
of equipment to move outside. That's the main problem.
I bet you that we can. I mean, we'll have to
All
sacrifice.
the cameras, all the microphones.
We'll have
stuff.
to. We'll just record it
computers.
on the phone, on each of our phone. The quality will be very bad.
The quality is going to be absolute shit. You're not going to want to watch this as a podcast or listen to this as a podcast
Yeah.
because audio will be terrible.
It's like, what are you guys in the back in the 90s?
Wind,
Yeah. No, we can
screaming
probably.
children, sirens.
Yeah, we can
Motorcycle.
probably do something, but maybe not.
Do something.
Anyways, like we can probably hook things up and make it work, but then it'd still be a pain in the
It
butt.
still feels like this
We'll
was supposed to be the low.
I know.
Like
We will never do it.
minimal. Yeah, we would never
We will
do
not
it.
even do. We will quit the grounding. Not like we're still going with that consistently, but we'll quit both of them at the same time. We'll quit grounding and podcasting.
Pretty much. You should know by now that if we make it difficult like that,
Yeah,
we're not gonna do it.
I know.
So we got to keep this as simple as possible if we want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I know. That's I mean, speaking of that, is like making things a habit. It's that's what actually I was listening to a podcast.
Oh, he has
remember
a podcast.
remember James Clear,
No.
the guy who wrote Atomic Habit.
Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah, his
Yeah.
name is James Clear. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Maybe not, but he was like a guest on a podcast, or maybe he has his own podcast. I forget which one it is, but I was listening to it,
Okay.
and it was a no. The only thing I got out of it is, you know, how I remember you were reading. I was listening to the audiobook and you read it. I mean, the only thing that I remember from the podcast, actually, at the time of listening, I was like, oh.
You mean from
These-
the book?
No, from the podcast,
Just now,
just you know, like a
recently
week
that you were
ago,
listening
a
to,
week
okay.
ago, and I was like, while I'm listening to it, I was thinking to myself, oh, these are great things, maybe I need to, you know, talk about in the podcast. I don't remember any of those, but the only thing I remember out of that and the book is that, you know, in order to get anywhere in life, you just have to, you know, it's not about the passion that you have to get, you know, that gets you going and gets you doing stuff, making money, become successful, whatever.
Oh no, passion is bullshit.
Yeah, it's all about making everything into a system of habit. So what that means is like you just have to make everything easy, make everything just like you
Pretty
know
much
what you said about this.
remove barriers
Yeah.
as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, just like
Because
this.
the harder something is to do, the less likely you are to do it. But if it's just super easy,
Yeah.
or you don't even have to think about it to do it, that's when it's really, really easy.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, you want to drink protein smoothies, have all your ingredients in the same place,
Yeah.
keep your blender on the counter, stuff like that. Or like have your routine for doing your teeth or whatever. Make sure you floss and brush and water pick and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the one thing that I got out of, or I still remember after the podcast, and it came from his book too.
Okay,
which,
so I've noticed, because I would say if you asked me, Atomic Habits is the one self-help book that has been the most useful, and probably one of the few that have been really useful for me personally, because that works really well. It's like chaining your habits
yeah,
and eliminating barriers, and just kind of making it as simple and as intuitive as possible
mm-hmm.
to just do it. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
As much as possible, don't even think about it. So I know that works really well for me. Does that work for you? Because I really haven't noticed that happening in your life.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like it works for me, but getting there, breaking down those barriers is and making things easy is still. That's the question, right? That's the challenge. No doubt that it works. It's just getting to the point where it works is always the challenge, right? For me, it's like, you know, spinning on the bike, even though I hate spinning. I hate working out. No, I like playing basketball. I like doing things that it's like there's a game to it, right? It's like,
Right,
oh,
but I think basketball right
see how
now
many.
has too many barriers for
Yeah,
you to
it
go do
is.
it.
It is. It is. And I get that, and we're just busy with doing so much other stuff. But at least spinning is like, oh, I have my, my spinning bike here that I can just get on and just like, regardless, I just do 10 minutes at least. And sometime I do more, but right now it's a habit that when I don't do it, it feels weird.
It's
But
like this is your have to do it before you shower
yeah, or something like,
thing.
or before the
So,
night ends or
uh-huh.
something like that. I always like, it feels weird not to do it. So that works well, having it there and just being able to just hop on and do it. But yeah, but other things, I'm not sure. I mean, things are
So,
becoming,
what would you say is your barrier to creating a system for the other habits that you want to have in your life?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's any other habit that I want to have in my life.
I feel like there probably are.
I mean,
I
sometimes
mean, in terms of like things you want to achieve in terms of work
well, work
or
wise, I always have stuff that I can kind of on my computer, and when I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, what do I do right now? I always have stuff that, or maybe because I have too much stuff. And
you get overwhelmed.
I think maybe that's is the other thing that he mentioned, and maybe that's from the book, probably from the books too, is that the clarity. It's like you have to have clarity.
You have to know what you're
Yeah,
doing.
you know what you're going for rather than.
Mhm.
And sometimes I find that with work, it's I don't have the clarity of like work is in stuff that I like to. I guess I call it work, but it's more just like, programming, coding, or making something, building something,
So
creating something.
not your employment
Not
work,
not
but
yeah
rather
yeah just
personal project work.
personal project. Yeah, so that kind of work is like I don't have the clarity because most of the time I have so many. I have this sort of brain that I kind of want to chase as many carrots as I. There's too many carrots to chase,
Uh-huh.
and most of the time it's hard to find which one to chase.
Well, and I think part of the problem is every single time you are making that decision of which one to chase,
Yes.
rather than knowing that like, okay, this is the plan for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So this is the carrot that I am chasing right now,
Yeah.
and that's it, and I don't have to make that decision every time, because I think that can be kind of a paralysis thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I mean, I think that's especially for me with like preparing for baby and everything. There's been so many things to do that I just get paralyzed with like, okay, what do I work on now? What do I do?
Yeah, and once you kind of set, and I think that's a problem. It's like one, you're like every time you do it, you spend a bunch of time just figuring out like, is this the right
Which
carrot?
one's the best one?
And then you figure it out, and then the day's over, and then you're like, okay, I got that carrot. I'm focusing on that carrot, and then the next day comes by, and you have more things.
But is this the right carrot?
Yeah, and then it starts all over again, and then the vicious cycle starts all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is my biggest problems. One of my biggest problems with not having clarity, and I see that happening where I'm just chasing some carrot one day, and then another day it's like, especially in tech where there's just so much new stuff coming out, so much interesting stuff. There's the next day like somebody's announced something, it's like, oh, I want to work in AR, I want to work in VR, I want to work in blockchain, I want to
Too many
do
opportunities.
yeah, too many opportunities, and it's just too many enticing carrots to chase. And every day is just like I feel like I'm falling behind, and I'm like, I gotta chase this carrot, but this carrot is running away from me. So yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest problem with creating habit, especially with like side project and work related.
So this week on Let's Life Coach Sun,
Yes.
how do we narrow that down for you, or figure out
I
what
don't
carrot
know.
to focus on?
I don't know, because I've been trying to kind of like, it's like one day I figure out, it's like, okay, I'm going to focus on this.
Can we assign you a carrot for the week, or you're not allowed to play with any other carrots until you get this carrot dealt with? Or
I try to enforce that, but like halfway through the week, I'm reading something on Twitter because it's just like easily sway. I'm just too emotional when it comes to tech,
True.
new techs and stuff. It's just like, oh no, this is not working. Okay, I don't like
the
this.
FOMO.
Yeah, it's a FOMO of like, but I need to work on this because this is more promising and this is falling apart, and technology is not ready.
But then he ends up
is
never
ready.
working
And
on
then-
anything.
Yeah, and then I'm
like
just
the last project we got done was Belly, which
yeah,
we
was
had
for
been
a
trying to
hackathon
work on for over a year. Finally did it for a hackathon, and
in a week.
that
in 3
hackathon was
days.
about almost 2 months ago, month and a half ago,
I know.
and you haven't done
okay.
anything since then. Because I mean, you've done a lot of things. You haven't finished anything.
Yeah,
You haven't gotten anything.
I feel like
out.
this is a problem with a lot of people in tech and people
even
who are
in life. I
yeah,
feel like
just
a lot of us
overachiever.
want to do a lot of things,
Mhm.
but then we don't know which is the right
thing to do. Yeah,
and so we get distracted or we get
yeah.
uh
And
unmotivated.
yeah, and I think the problem is yeah, and I remember now that you say a lot of things that you're saying, kind of like, oh, I think he did talk about that in the podcast about people just giving up. Oh, he does talk about one thing he was talking about. Now that reminded me, I'm just like ADHD.
Next time I'm just replacing him on the podcast.
Yeah,
Got this.
yeah. One thing he did talk about is that the result is always, maybe I'm phrasing this incorrectly, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Who
It's fine.
cares? But he was talking about how the result, the outcome of things, is usually a what do you call it? Like a delay curve or delay graph. It's usually, you think about, and when he was talking about it, he probably has a better term to describe it, but in my mind I'm thinking like charting is a moving average, right?
Okay, so I understand where you're going,
Yeah.
but you're getting way too obscure for like normal people.
I know, maybe you can explain this better, but my point being is that you're not going to get that result. You're not going to see it right away. It's always
So,
a delay sort of
You
move.
do. This is probably the wrong way.
Yeah.
You do the work,
Yeah.
but then
The moving average, it takes time
that's
for it
when
to catch
the
up.
result actually happens. Is
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, but I think moving average sounds better in my mind for somebody who charts a lot
Because
on
you're
graphs.
a charter. And
Yeah.
Whereas
But you,
for me,
but
that's
you-
like,
but-
okay, sure.
But you get it, right? Because the moving
mean,
average
vaguely,
moves
but-
slower, right? The moving average moves slower than the price action, for example, the price. So when the price, as time goes by, the moving average will, if price stay at the same point, the moving average will slowly match, become one with the price. So if you can draw that on a line of X to Y, then you can see that moving average line. If the price stays the same, it goes, usually it's a delayed reaction to things. So I think what he's trying to say is that
I
people
think we
always
just lost half of our
Yeah.
listeners, and we only had one listener.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. Maybe half of them just like the right brain kind of caught that, and the left brain is like, what, or whatever it is, vice versa. I don't know which one is the more
But okay,
logical.
what you're saying
But-
is there's delayed gratification.
Yeah. So most people expect it to be like
Everybody
you
wants
do,
immediate gratification.
Yeah, you want to see it right away
But
on the
most
chart or
things in
something.
life are
It's-
delayed gratification.
Yeah, that delay sort of it won't show up for a while.
I mean, it's
and-
kind of like how we have been posting videos on the Sushi Day YouTube, or even on Sundays.
yeah.
And right now, the Sundays videos are not going any freaking where because he's not even posting about them on his social media, and neither have I because I keep
I
forgetting.
have a social media
Yeah, apparently,
at twitter.com/Fuson PHUSON.
says the dude trying not to dox himself.
Well, no, I'm trying to. I mean, that's my last name's not on there, Allison. Okay, My
It's
last
on your
name's-
Twitter.
Is it
It's
really?
on your Twitter page.
Is
It
it?
is.
Oh,
It is.
God, I need to go remove that right now. I don't
Um,
think it is.
I think it is. But
Okay,
anyways.
I'm gonna become an anon.
Anyways,
Twitter.
but back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channels, we put so much work into Sushi Day for such a long time, and it felt like it was really, really, really going nowhere. And then now that we've kind of pulled back and stopped,
Mm-hmm.
or like we're only occasionally posting stuff because, with the pregnancy especially, it's been really hard to film and edit and do all of that. Like we hit 1,000 subs after we stopped posting things.
Yay!
And now we're up to like 1,300 or something
Yay!
from doing nothing.
It's like
Um,
it's like passive income, but
It
we
is.
don't actually make money.
Who said income's money?
That's true. Passive incoming of
Incoming
subscriber,
subscribers.
not incoming
But
of
but
dollars.
that's the thing is like you can work really, really, really hard and not see any results.
Yeah,
But then if you just kept going,
yeah,
you would get those results.
yeah. The moving
But
average will catch up.
But it takes time, and sometimes that can be extremely discouraging that like you just put in so much work and you feel like it's worthless.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of creators,
But
entrepreneurs, stuff like that.
yeah, the reason I brought that up is, yeah, that's the problem. Most of us just kind of quit, and that's not just content creation, but just like losing weight, exercising, anything really.
really bad at the exercising.
Yeah, and
What do you mean I worked out one day and I'm not super buff? Gosh, it's a scam.
that's a way slow moving average. But with those things, usually if you keep doing it, it always
does.
catch up at the end faster than the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's how moving average usually work.
But it's hard because at the beginning,
Yeah,
you're putting in all that work and it's going nowhere.
yeah,
It does nothing.
yep. But yeah, so he did talk about that. See, now we're talking about it, I'm like getting things and things are just like in these little memory
So
bits.
what you need to do is
just
get in
kind
the
of-
habit of listen to a podcast, then stop
Then stop and then what?
and talk to me about it.
Yeah, but
Because I think that gets things in your brain a little better.
yeah. I mean, they are in my brain, Allison. It's just the
No, I mean
problem is
accessible in your brain.
the problem is that they kind
Not
of
tucked away in some corner where you were like, I'm for sure going to remember it here.
and
And then you lose
and
it for 10 years.
And then maybe like someday they'll just come out because it'll just like one word that triggers it.
It
And
just like jostles
oh,
it. Oh, yeah.
I'm supposed to be consistent. Oh my God, that was 50 years ago. I remember that.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's wait, where did we get this? Oh, so back to what's the carrots? I don't know. It's like
Like, how do we get you to actually get things done
I
rather than
do
just
have.
starting things, working on things, but then jumping from thing to thing
Yeah,
to thing
but
and never going
I
anywhere?
don't. I'm not sure because I have small carrots that I'm just like, okay, I need to get this done, and I usually sometime I do a good job at sticking to like the little carrots. It's like, oh, maybe this is like an hour thing and a day thing. I'm gonna focus on this, and then tomorrow different thing comes or something comes up or something kind of like, okay, we gotta do this, we gotta do that.
Like
and
I
then
said,
I'm
it's
just-
not that you don't achieve anything,
Yeah.
but in terms of personal projects, for example,
Mm.
you're really, really bad at getting those done and getting them out.
I know because there's just so
But
much.
that's what I mean. They're like the medium-sized carrots.
I don't know. Right
The
now,
little carrots you do great with. So how do you turn the medium carrots into little carrots that you can actually achieve?
Not sure. Maybe if I like carrots,
All right, so we gotta pick a different vegetable.
I do like carrots actually. Maybe if they're in like beef stew or something, carrots, that sounds good. But carrot by itself is kind of weird. Or like raw carrot dipping. I think that's such a American thing.
I'm not a fan of like
that's just so weird.
crudité
Yeah.
platters, carrots and
but,
celery
but,
and
but I feel like those things are more like a vehicle to deliver
tasty dips.
yeah, the dip, and that's it. The carrot is just
Okay,
plain
but
and-
honestly, if I'm gonna go for the dip, like just give me the frickin' potato chips.
yeah. No, but that's sometimes sometimes that is too salty, right? And the carrot's kind of like that it's like rice.
Or like crackers.
Yeah, cracker will work. But yeah, it's like rice where you have this just bland base.
I don't know. I feel like carrots kind of ruin it sometimes.
Oh,
though.
carrot and curry. That sounds good. I'm hungry now.
I mean, cooked carrots, yeah.
Yeah. Cooked carrot.
Cooked carrots, I'm down for
But I
that.
can't.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
the
can't
raw
just.
carrots
Some people
that I
eat just
don't
raw.
like.
Some people
I
just
don't
eat
like them.
bags of raw carrots. I mean, maybe sometimes they're kind of tasty. Maybe the little carrots.
The baby
Sometimes they're a
carrots?
little. Yeah, I think sometimes they're a little sweet. they have like a little kind of like that sweetness that you can just, I don't know, that is kind of, and they're really hard and crunchy and just
Yeah.
tough, and
I'm not a fan.
it's not, yeah, it's not
Honestly,
really.
I'm not a fan.
Just cook it. Just cook
Yeah.
it, guys. You probably can get more nutrients out of it, you know? I mean, that's why mankind.
Cooked carrots, I will
Yeah.
I will happily eat those with dip all day, every day.
That's
But raw carrots.
that's why mankind survived to this day. You know, we invented
We cooked our
fire.
carrots.
No, I mean, yeah, well, yeah, we do. we invented fire so that we can cook food and extract these nutrients. That's what I learned in another podcast. I'm just kind
I
of
think that's more like meat, though, right?
probably vegetable
I mean,
too.
both.
Yeah,
but, like,
probably vegetable.
raw veggies can
Yeah.
have different
Different things.
nutritional
Yeah.
things.
But
that
yeah,
are-
you're right. It's mostly meat though.
Mostly
but
meat,
you
yeah.
know, no people listening probably don't know. Maybe
Unless they also listen to that podcast. You never know.
people who listen to us don't listen to podcasts. Okay, well that's my assumption. That's why I'm kind of just reiterating other people's podcasts.
Makes sense.
Because otherwise it would be kind of useless. We're kind of summing it up. So people who don't listen to podcasts listen to our podcasts, and it's like, oh, I don't need to listen to other people's podcasts when I just can listen to Sunday's podcast. You know, that's the hope, at least.
We're doing a public service here.
Yeah, that's the hope. But back to the carrots conversation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, especially right now with the baby coming, and
It does make it hard.
yeah,
but
it's like I don't know
feel
what
like
is
one thing you're maybe not great at doing
is.
is breaking things down.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a really big project and breaking it down into lots of little tasks that you can just easily get done.
Yeah, I do keep them all in my mind, but right now I'm
And we've seen how well that works with the podcast.
yeah. I mean, I told you about the idea that I have for a project just for fun, but I don't know.
And what have you done for it?
I set
Have
up
you done anything?
I set up the folder and you know, and the packages and stuff like that. But I haven't really. I've done some stuff towards it, but I don't know. I'm just feeling discouraged about it. It just feels like it's more of a headache than it's worth, because people are gonna use it and they're gonna. It has to be with blockchain, and everything is kind of a mess in blockchain right now. It's so hard to use, and so we're trying to make things easier, but then at the same time, I'm just afraid that, and I think my fear is just I'm doing a lot of stuff, and then people are gonna try to use it, and then they're gonna mess something up, and then they're gonna blame on us and say that, oh, you know, your project, you know, you made
People
this,
using
and
it maliciously.
and maliciously, or just they enter the wrong thing, and then they're gonna, you know, where the, you know, the point of it is to help them interact with contract on the blockchain, and if we messed up something and then they enter it wrong, they're gonna blame on us. They're gonna say, oh, your thing messed it up because I entered this or whatever it is, and then it's just like, I'm just afraid. I don't know if I want to deal with, you know, that headache of
I mean,
just
I think that's
people
my
crying.
issue with almost every
Yeah,
thing that we could make is dealing with customers.
yeah. It's just people,
Dealing
and
with
especially if we're thinking about doing something that's kind of like for fun and it's free, and you know, it's like, do I want to do customer support for free? You know, do I want to waste my life away helping people when, you know, they don't care, or maybe they just like they don't even, you know, not like they don't care. You know what I mean?
I know
It's
what
like
you mean.
it's I'm just trying to weigh the headaches of it. I mean, the other that project, and maybe right now it's like I'm trying to learn Rust so I can do some Solana stuff, which I don't know, you know, where that's gonna go, because apparently we're in a bear market and everything is crashing, so a lot of it is still up in the air. So I'm kind of like flipping between, like, do I do this project, you know, for fun, or do I and possibly potentially have headache, or do I, you know, learn Rust, and because I like learning new technology and playing around with things and messing with things. But the problem with that also is, like, you know, you get stuck in this cycle of, oh, I just want to learn all the things but never actually do anything. So yeah, so I don't know, but I know that they're both. I think the problem is like I want to just like that we talk about how that delay gratification is like that delay moving average is that I want the result now, right? I want
You always do for
doing
everything.
this now, but then we can't just operate on that now mentality because nothing is now. You have to kind of operate and then hope for the best. It's like a year from now, 2 years from now. It's like, oh, I'm glad I, learned this. I'm glad I know how to do this. I'm glad I did this
You gotta
project,
plant the
whatever.
trees.
Yeah. So that's why it makes it hard to especially in blockchain and new tech stuff. It's like, oh, I have all these ideas, but then like, like in the past we had ideas about doing VR and AR, and then we realized like the technology is still kind of way behind.
Technology, but also especially in that our capabilities.
Yeah. Well, that was a little bit more
Yeah, that was
tricky.
But I think
But I don't know.
I think you need to stop trying to figure out what is best
I know.
and just do something.
I know.
Because like you said, that delayed gratification, you got to start something now. I
Yeah.
just have light all over me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Fine, whatever.
You,
You got to
look
start
like a
something.
tiger now. Stripe.
This is the
Light.
new makeup trend.
A light tiger.
But you got to start something now,
Yeah.
and it kind of doesn't really matter what you do. You just got to do something.
I know. And
Because the alternative is right now, you trying to figure out what the best thing to do is you're still doing nothing.
no, I know.
There's
and that's-
nothing happening.
And that's exactly why I have stuff on my computer, stuff that's like ready for me to just like, jump into learning Rust or learning whatever, and I figure, you know what? Not think about and just do something, and and if I need to jump around, it's okay. But if I, that's my mentality right now. It's just as long as I'm doing something and not just sit there and try to think about what I should do, it's okay. Even if I'm jumping, like, even if there's 2 carrots, which I feel like
That's
right now I
true.
have 2 carrots, and I'm just like, I'm jumping between carrots. But as long as I'm working
As long
towards,
as you have a progress plan for both carrots, I think.
yeah.
I think that's maybe the most important thing.
Yeah,
here.
and which I think I'm doing a little better. I'm trying to work with my brain of just like, not overthink the carrot and just chase it. Even if I'm chasing like, oh, look at the carrot. Oh, look at the carrot. Oh, look. But as long as I'm moving towards the carrot, maybe. So that's the plan.
And not adding in too many other carrots.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm not adding more carrots. I have 2 carrots that I'm just like, okay, I'm either chasing one or the other, but I'm not gonna try to chase something. And one of the other one, like the Rust and Solana stuff, I feel like that's kind of like a mirage. Is that
Yeah.
mirage, right? It's
Yeah.
a mirage of carrot. It's like it's not really a solid carrot.
Did you almost say solidity carrot?
No.
You're right,
I was
it's
gonna
not.
say, yeah, it's not. It's Rust, but it's not like a solidified carrot, right? It's not like an actual carrot. It's right now. It's like, I'm gonna learn all these things so that I can figure out.
holographic carrot.
Yeah, exactly. So I can kind of like, I can figure out if there's something I can, figure out the actual carrot to chase, right?
It's a promise of a carrot.
Yeah. So right now, I know that there are a lot of carrots, especially on like the Solana. We're talking about blockchain. If you're listening, you don't know. It's like, there's a lot of different blockchains. You have the Ethereum, blah blah blah. But one of the blockchain is Solana. So that's like, okay, they have different ecosystem, different development, whatever. So one of the thing is that one of the carrot is not truly a carrot. It's kind of like of like, okay, there's gonna be a bunch of carrot, but I need to learn how to figure out which
Pretty much you're planting the carrots.
Yeah, I guess so. And then maybe there's the carrot.
Like your
will
carrots
grow,
don't exist yet.
And then the carrot.
But you
will,
planted the seeds.
Yeah, and then
And now you have to tend the seeds.
yeah, and then
And
when the
water
carrot
them and everything.
and when the carrot mature, then it runs away, and then I'm the rabbit that needs to
And
chase
now
the
you have
carrot.
to
Yeah,
okay.
that makes total sense.
This is an absolutely legit analogy. Do not argue with us.
And while
makes
all that
100%
happened,
sense.
there's another carrot that's running away. So I have to run towards this carrot, and then I have to run back and then tend to this carrot.
Tend to your carrot farm.
Carrot farm. Yeah. And then eventually there will be another carrot, like you said, that will
Potentially
sprout.
lots
and
more
then,
carrots.
Yeah, and it will sprout, and then it will run away too. And then
Carrots with legs.
oh God, we're taking this analogy way too
No,
serious.
this makes total sense.
I'm sure people.
Completely logical.
Yeah, I'm sure. Definitely sure. It's just like a cartoon, and I'm the cartoon bunny. I'm Bugs Bunny, and these are the carrot. That's But regardless, so that's the plan at least. So in my mind, I have some sort of a plan, and I'm just kind of like with the baby and coming and stuff. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna.
That might be a storm destroying your carrot field.
Yes, it might destroy me too, but for now it's just kind of like, okay, I have some carrots that I'm just gonna slowly, as long as I'm running towards it, it's okay. That's the plan.
He's got a plan.
Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a
I
plan.
don't know.
I mean, it sounds like a plan. I
Yeah.
didn't say it sounds like a good plan. But it sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan at least.
I think you kind of sort of got things.
Yeah, we just spent like half an hour talking about carrots.
I mean, what else were we going to talk about?
I know, that's true. We didn't even have a plan.
We had zero plans.
We had
here.
no carrots
I
coming
think
into
we've
this.
done a really good job coming into this episode with
With
absolutely no plan.
with no carrots, and we
No
came
plan, no
in
carrots.
and we planted
Just
a
tea.
bunch of carrots, and now we're chasing them. That's the plan. But yeah, it's almost 42 minutes. I think we did this maybe a couple of times already, where we just keep recording, and then I feel like my body knows when it's like 42 minutes, and it's like, oh, I'm tired. We should probably end.
You just like hit that wall.
Yeah, I know. It hits the wall at about 42 minutes.
Good
I
to
don't know. I think
know.
I'm done. I feel like maybe
Alrighty.
next week we can come back and talk about if my carrots is still viable, or if I have a better carrots. I don't know.
Next week, he's going to have a completely new plan, have abandoned all of his old ones.
Well, a storm, but that's the thing. That's the beauty of. I mean, I don't know if it's the beauty of it, of the storm, this coming storm, right? Baby storm.
Baby storm means that at some point,
the farm will just.
This is the most consistent podcast we've ever done.
Is
We've
it?
gotten this up every Sunday. This is like
Yeah, I
episode
guess
4
so.
or 5 or something.
5.
And
Wow,
then
5. Yeah, I know.
it's
I know.
all about to get ruined.
I know. That's
Because as
it's
soon
always
as
like
baby's
that.
here, we're just going to disappear.
Yeah, it's the carrot farm's gonna get destroyed, and then there will be maybe other different carrots will pop up.
Everything's going to change.
Hopefully they're carrots. Hopefully
Everything's
they're yummy,
going to change.
and then we can cook them.
We're just going to show up to the whenever we do the first episode after baby's here and just look extremely ragged and old
The
this
storm.
week
The storm has hit.
on Sundays.
We don't know. See you next week. We're going back to sleep. Goodbye.
Pretty much. But yeah,
But
so
yeah, that's it.
I think that was
Yeah.
an episode.
Yeah, we'll try to leave some of the stuff that we talked about in the show note.
Carrots.
Yeah. Check us out on YouTube.
We'll leave a tasty carrot recipe in the show notes.
Yeah. Leave many carrots for you to chase. Our loyal listener. If you've listened
Listener.
to, if you come all the way to this point, that's
If you've made it this far.
yeah, that's like 4 or 5 weeks. That's more than a month.
It's pretty amazing.
But trust us, just like with the habit,
Never trust us.
no,
Why would
no.
anybody
They
do
should
that?
trust us. It's
Okay.
listening to us is eventually the moving average will catch up. The delay, just believe in the delay gratification, and
Eventually,
you'll
listening
be
to this podcast will be worth it.
yeah, we'll be gratified. It will just be much
Just
delay.
not yet.
It will be much delay.
It'll take a
think,
while.
Just think of the moving average.
If you just stick with us,
Yeah.
Someday it will be worth it.
Yeah, our parting notes for this week is just think about the moving average. It'll catch up. That's it.
See you next time.
See you. Bye-bye. Have a good week.